TBCN presents Tampa Bay Soapbox, a special production to highlight the public's views on different topics. This edition features comments aimed at the 2012 RNC convention.
Welcome, I'm Ben Eason. I'm the board president of Speak Up Tampa Bay. We are your town's public access center, and this is an experimental program we're putting together. It's called Tampa Soapbox. And so we're solicited views from all over the Tampa Bay community, some visitors for our Republican friends that are in town. We felt like this is a great place to present a whole range of views, and it's in keeping with the spirit of public access.
Hey, it's Joel Wynkoop from the Joel Wynkoop Show and my television series, The Other Side. Just here to tell you a little bit. What? Oh, I'm sorry, this isn't about me. This is about the RNC coming. Oh yeah, it's coming, or it's here, or it's right around that general area. And I'm just here to tell you a couple things about the RNC. These folks from Washington coming down here. The whole country, the whole world is going to be taking a look at Tampa. So let's do some things on the street, shall we? So they can go back with a good impression of Tampa, okay? I mean, if you're in traffic and you're driving along in traffic and someone's trying to get out, don't just crowd up in front of them. Maybe stop, maybe a little pause. Hey man, come on in. And if you're being let in traffic, how about saying, hey, thanks a lot, I appreciate it. Hold the door for somebody, especially a lady. My gosh, I can't believe how many times I see a guy whip open the door for his buddy. He goes in, his buddy goes in, the door slams, and his wife's on the outside. I'm going, what is happening? These people are going to come down. They're going to tell stories about Tampa, so let's have cool things for them to see while they're here, okay? You people in some of the restaurants, and I'm sure there's a lot of the restaurants are just great, and they're cool, and they're like the maitre d's. They're like, the waiter will take your order in a minute. And then he comes up and he goes, that'll be a steak and a bottle of wine. Very good, sir. I'll see you in a few minutes. And then the fast food restaurants, McDonald's, Burger King, all these, you come in there, they're like, hell, welcome to McDonald's, welcome to Burger King, welcome to Steak and Shake. That's great, that's the way we want to see. So get some of the service, because I've seen some service where you walk into a McDonald's and you stand there and they stand in there and they're looking at you, or Burger King or Steak and Shake or whatever, and they're just staring at you and they're going, what do you want? What do I want? Come on! Where is the welcome to McDonald's, welcome to Burger King? Come on! What if these people come into your store and then they go back to Washington and they're like, man, Tampa sucks. Those people in Tampa can't even say welcome to McDonald's or welcome to Burger King. I mean, come on, get with the program. Like I said, I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that give you great customer service. But for the ones that don't, think about it. Give good customer service. Look what they're taking back. And oh my gosh, talking about some of the things that are going on. I know some things are, they're pressing and they're like, oh my gosh, what if they drop a bomb on us? What if this happens? What if that happens? But come on, gay marriage, one of them, who cares? A guy wants to be with another guy, who cares? Is he hurting you? I don't think so. If a woman wants to be with a woman, so what? Let them be. Come on. Holy smokes, and the whole black-white thing, who gives a crap? I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're yellow, I don't care if you're green, I don't care if you're got pink with green spots, or come from the planet Vulcan. Let's just all get along, okay? Who cares what color you are? It doesn't matter. So come on, let's show each other some care. Let's, in traffic, in buildings, let's show, so when these people, these Washington bigwigs come down here for the RNC, let's show them that Tampa Bay is a great place to be. It's a cool place to be. So when they go back, they can tell their friends, go to Tampa, it's a beautiful place. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Damn it, for God's sakes, pull your pants up. Walking around in your pants hanging down here. Sure, all this is, you're walking around, amen. And I don't care, again, if you're black, white, Hispanic, brown, purple, green, or come from the planet Vulcan, pull your pants up. Let them go back to Washington and say, Tampa Bay is an awesome place to visit. Yeah! And I'm Joel Wynkoop.
Tampa Bay Soapbox.
Hello, my name is Dean Chambers. I'm the host and producer of the local Tampa Bay Community Network program, the Tampa Grapevine. I come to you today as a concerned citizen of Tampa and of this United States. The subject is the RNC. Yes, folks, do you hear them coming? Put your ears to the ground. No, it's not Walmart shoppers, it's the elephants coming to Tampa. In fact, yes, folks, it's the Republican National Convention, and we have Tampa residents have seen that we can't singly fill up a baseball stadium or a football stadium, but yes, we can host a convention. As a former hotel manager, I realized that in fact showcasing Tampa, at long last, the wait is over. It's been more than 2 years since Tampa Bay has won the convention bid, and there is going to be several thousand people coming to our lovely state. Now the question is much like, in fact, as you watch what my father did earlier on another state, put your country before the politics, folks. Educate yourself. Don't simply vote because it's a dimpled Chad or because your family's voted Democrat or Republican. Look upon the candidate, look upon the issues, and don't simply decide because you feel you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. Look at yourself as a concerned citizen. Yes, put your country before the vote. The RNC bookings we're seeing, in fact, one of my most interesting articles was the Hard Rock Casino is going to have 5,000 of the delegates there. Of course, politics is a crapshoot, folks, so seems appropriate. Now, no bikes, sorry, last Republican convention, they gave out 1,000 bikes because they felt that the people needed to get around the areas. Well, one thing we're finding with Tampa Bay, we are so bad when it comes to bike routes and public transportation. So folks, educate yourselves when it comes to school bus routes. Parents, when it comes to when you go downtown, you're gonna see a lot of barricades, and there's a lot of situations where it's gonna interrupt the flow of traffic and interrupt our lives. But one thing too we need to see is, once again, the Republican National Convention. Is it simply preaching to the converted? Is it a convention where we're all looking? But when I see the amount of money that is spent on campaigns, that's what I worry about. And especially when it comes to Tampa, we're still at a high job recession rate here, and we're still looking at a situation where there's a lot of issues at hand. Whether it be Democrats, Republicans, Greens, Browns, or the Independents, or the rest of them, we all need to educate ourselves about who the candidate is and the issues. Don't simply go into the booth, close the little curtain, and just start popping off little votes. Understand what you're voting for. It's very important. Now, some of the issues we all need to address. School grades tumble. Now, we're sitting here in Florida, and guess how much money the candidates have spent in Florida? We're number one when it comes to advertising. We're number one when it comes to the focus. Ohio is number two. So folks, it's important, as we all saw in the election in 2000, every vote counts. And when you do not vote, when you do not participate, you are simply sitting idly by and watching life go by. That's not the way we need to be as American citizens. There's 300 million of us. You know, we can vote 20 million times on American Idol, yet we can't seem to vote 10 million times on when it comes to our president. The Republican National Convention is coming to our town. Whether it's going to be something positive or something bad, it depends on how you look at it. I think one thing you need to do is, you know, when it comes down to Mitt Romney or it comes down to Obama, it's going to be a close election. So we truly will see that every vote counts. Educate yourself, folks, and I know I've said that many times during this 5-minute PSA for Tampa Bay Community Network, and that is another thing you need to realize. This is the last full freedom of speech center in Tampa in Florida. So we are being given the opportunity to do this, and I appreciate that. Push the registered voters. They're purging our voters, folks. They are. They're looking for the bad voters. Well, there's no such thing as a bad voter, because unless you go out and not participate, you're just simply letting our life go by. Now, whether it comes to Obamacare, Romneycare, or perhaps If You Dare, that's one question we'll all have. You know, I see in a lot of ways that our youth are not participating in our election. That's one of the things that brought in change when it came in previous elections. You know, sometimes, often, it's the older people that tend to vote, and in the middle of the ground, we're all seem to be, you know, distracted by our life. But we also need to see that our youth, the next generation, I'm Generation X. I don't want the next one to be Y for why we didn't do something in time. So with the RNC coming, yes, look up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a super PAC. You know, unable to leap over, you know, fine gold McCain and any kind of bills. But when it comes down to our election process, we may be, yet again, electing the lesser of two evils, but we also need to realize that you need to participate, you need to educate, and you need to also bring everyone into the fold. And if you have a candidate that you're behind and you have issues you want to talk about, feel free to come down to the Tampa Bay Community Network. I want to thank Tampa Bay Community Network for this opportunity. And please, folks, get out and vote. Understand that it is education and it is all about the political issues. Have a great night, great day. Good night, good luck.
Hi, I think Tampa is in the throes of a great opportunity with the RNC coming to town. I mean, they're spending all this money on security, they're putting up fences, they've got a lot of extra people here. All they need to do is close it off and they've got the world's largest mental asylum already in place. And they've already got patients, because anybody who believes, as Mitt Romney does, that their magic underwear is going to protect them certainly belongs in a mental institution. And anyone who is supporting someone who believes that and wants to have that person have control of nuclear weapons, oh, come on, let's get real here. Seriously, the Republican National Convention is our chance to show them that they haven't got all the people fooled. I know they only need to fool a little over 50%, but they've done a really good job at fooling a large number of people into thinking that what's best for the billionaires is best for everybody else. The Tea Party, well, let's just say there was a long time ago, David Caton, some of you may remember him, I haven't heard much of him for a while, but he was out giving a speech down in Tampa. And a man from the KKK ran up to David and said, "I'm with you, brother, I'm with you." And he did a real good job of trying to distance himself from that KKK guy. David was embarrassed to be associated with him. The sad thing is, the Tea Party is the modern day KKK, and the Republican Party isn't embarrassed. They should be, but they're not. These people that generally can't spell, can't think, and can't do much of anything except yell and holler about how their rights are being abridged by being decent people, helping somebody else out, health care. I mean, they all say they're pro-life. How can you be against health care and call yourself pro-life? I don't understand it. So it just amazes me that anyone that is not a billionaire could possibly vote Republican these days. And I realize Bob Buckhorn is put in a very bad position because he is a Democratic mayor, and he's got to support this because, well, we need the money. And the Republicans are why we need the money, because of the policies of George Bush. Don't forget, the recession started before Obama took office. It started before he was even elected. People seem to forget that. They want to blame it on Obama, but it's not Obama's fault. The fault of the people that it is, those people are going to be right here in Tampa. And let them know, spend your time letting them know that they need to care about something more than what limo service is going to be at the convention center, what fancy hotel at who knows how many dollars a night, and by the way, probably paid for with government money, is going to put them up. I mean, I read a story that said they were complaining because some of them were getting put in Inverness Resort. Resort. I've been to Inverness. I've worked at Inverness. Inverness is a very nice place, but it's a little bit of a drive. Aw, poor Republicans. They're going to have to sit in a limo for about an hour or so. Well, I'm just about out of time, but I just want to remind you that if you're not a billionaire, if you don't have a lot of money that you made by doing shady deals like Rick Scott, if you don't belong in prison or a mental institution, then vote Democratic. That's all. Thank you.
Welcome, delegates, to the great city of Tampa. My name is Jeannie Tate, and I've been an adoption attorney in this community for almost 30 years. And I am speaking today to encourage you to support adoption legislation that comes across your desk. Currently, there is a bill pending that is designed to extend the adoption tax credit. The adoption tax credit is a cornerstone piece of legislation as it relates to the world of adoption. The American Academy of Adoption Attorneys and almost the entire adoption community wholeheartedly supports this bill because it is designed to support the active efforts of prospective adoptive parents, provide a permanent and loving home for adopted children. There are over 100,000 children in foster care today that are yearning for a place to call home, that are yearning for a family, that are yearning for a place to celebrate holidays. And the adoption tax credit promotes adoption so that families from all walks of life can provide children with that loving home. We urge you to act to extend the adoption tax credit in its current form. And if you do so, you will save the government many, many thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Credible reports have indicated that it costs between $150,000 to $200,000 to take care of a child in foster care. By promoting adoption, by providing a safe financial way to encourage adoption, we can eliminate those costs, and most of all, we can provide children with a family. It doesn't get much better than that. Another piece of legislation that I'm strongly urging you to consider is the Promoting Adoption and Responsible Fatherhood Act of 2012. This legislation was promoted by Senator Mary Landrieu from Louisiana and Senator James Inhofe of Oklahoma. This bill is designed to promote responsible fatherhood. It creates a national registry that links the registries that is already in existence in 34 states and promotes the creation of registries in the remaining 14 states. It allows a biological father that is not married to the birth mother an opportunity to provide notice of an adoption proceeding. It provides him with the opportunity to step up and claim an interest in his child. It also protects the privacy rights of birth mothers, and most importantly, it protects the child's right to a safe, stable, and secure adoptive placement, so that there's not a fear that a birth father is going to show up years down the road and try to disrupt that child's life. I urge you to support this legislation. I urge you to become more educated about adoption. Please contact an educated and informed adoption attorney in your state through the American Academy of Adoption Attorneys. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, Mario Nunez here. I'm co-host of the Tampa Native Show. And I'd just like to say welcome to our fair city, Tampa, Florida. It's Tampa, remember, not Tampa Bay. I know there's some confusion, and I want to set the record straight for those of you that are just visiting our area for the very, very first time. It's Tampa and not Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is that body of water that lies between St. Pete, Clearwater, and Tampa. Also, a couple of quick questions, a couple of quick points of interest, maybe something that you might want to consider. This whole business of taking our country back, I guess I'm confused. And maybe you can set me straight on this. Who are we taking our country back from? I mean, after all, the RNC, the Republican Party, I should say, controls Congress, and 5 out of the 9 members that sit on the Supreme Court are from the Republican side of the conversation. So just straighten me up on this. Who are we trying to take the country back from? Okay, all of that said, let me just say, Tampa Bay Soapbox, thanks so much for this opportunity to communicate, to let everybody out there know how much we appreciate our First Amendment freedom of speech right. And you know what? Public access television is super, super important to the whole democratic process, to our democracy. You know, it's platforms like this that give us the opportunity to come to you each and every week and tell you the history that is so familiar to us and so important to us right here in Tampa, not Tampa Bay. So on behalf of the Tampa Native Show, my cast and my crew, I'd like to say salute and happy days, and for more information, be sure to check out our website. That's tampanativeshow.com, tampanativeshow.com. Hey, have a good convention, okay? We'll probably see you there. Take care now.
Hi, Republicans. Welcome to Tampa, Florida. My name is Venus Jones, and I was told that I had 5 minutes of fame here just to say something nice to you or say something that I think you might want to hear. And that is that I know that you have an open mind, and that's why you're still listening. And this poem is called Freedom of Choice, for all those who are interested in what I think about the issue of reproductive rights and women. You'll never experience, you'll never understand. You'll stop trying to control my body in the courts of this land. Even if you change your sex, you can't produce what I can. And as a man, you can't feel what goes on inside of me. And another female only comprehends to a degree. So before you dismiss the details in my case, sir, look into the eyes on my face. Your life will never be on the line. I laugh when you tell me choice is not mine. Again, my name is Venus Jones, and that's a poem called Freedom of Choice, which is available in my latest poetry book called Lyrics for Langston. And I'll dedicate it to any woman who has ever felt as though she made a good decision.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Eddie, the world according to Eddie, and I'm back with you. I want to let you know that the elections are coming up. Each day, if you have not voted or in the past election, you must think about making sure your voter's registration is up to date. Because voting is very important, especially to our area. And education the way it is, jobs, all of the health issues that are facing each and every one of us every day. These are things that we should think of when we elect someone to run for office, because they are the ones that are there to represent you. And without you voting them in office or voting them out of office, we can only move forward with your vote. Hillsborough County needs all the help it can get. Florida, what can I say? All across this country, people are in need of aid in every possible way. One area that I find most important that we must concentrate on is our educational system. Because as you know, education was left out of the Constitution. So therefore, that may be why we have the situation as far as education today. What we need to do is to educate ourselves in the process of voting. Take a look at who's running for office. Check and see if that person is worthy of your vote. Don't do what they did last time. I had people to tell me after the last election that they chose not to vote. They left blank. And I said, well, then you cannot complain. So don't lose your vote by not showing up. Don't lose your vote by not voting. Go out. This is the time of the year that we should put forth every effort to make sure we have good representation. Our past, we cannot change that, but our future is right ahead of us. Again, education. If you educate yourself to your surroundings and also what is needed in your area, then you will then take note to make sure the person who's running in your district have you at heart, have you in mind. One other thing I want to say right now is to the RNC, the Republican National Committee, thank you, delegates, for coming to our area. I know that you're whatever party you are in, you have your focus, but first, as far as being a Floridian and a Tampanian and a native, I want to welcome you. We are here to help you. Any one of us, we are all across the state and the city. But keep in mind, we will be voting. We will be watching you, and we will be listening to what you have to say. And therefore, by doing so, we will learn what you have to offer. Back to our whole voting process that we have here, I think it's the most wonderful thing in the world. It's something that people have died for, marched for, and been denied over the years. And if you have that ability to go out and cast your vote for a party or for a person or for a cause, do it. Don't sit back and wait for things to happen and then you're at a state of complaining. I know that I only have a few minutes to talk to you regarding this issue, and I hope that you take what I have to say at heart because I mean it. I got my card. Look at it. Make sure that your address and your date and that everything is correct. And make sure that the form that you received in the mail regarding early voting is correct. And then go out and follow. Vote. That's the only way you can complain about anything, is if you vote. No voting, no complaining. Again, this is from Eddie, The World According to Eddie, and I want to send my love out to each and every one of you. Take care, and the best of the world and happiness to you. Thank you.
I'm Susan Glickman with Southern Alliance for Clean Energy, and we're a nonprofit group based in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I operate right here in the Sunshine State in Florida. And our message to the Republican convention and policymakers, elected officials, and delegates is that we can move to clean energy and get energy independence for our nation while we're reducing costs for consumers and giving jobs to the people who need them most, the construction workers that are out of jobs. The Republican Party has done more to thwart movement around the issues of moving to clean energy and to the development of solutions to the issue of climate change. Parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere is at an unprecedented level. Just this July, we had an astonishing melt of the Greenland ice sheet at 97%. That's the fastest rate of thaw ever. That's the bad news, but the good news is that we have solutions. We know how to make clean energy, we know how to run our vehicles on clean fuels, and we can do it while bringing jobs to people who need it most, that can do insulation and install new windows, new high-efficiency air conditioners. We have the solutions, and it can give Florida farmers and farmers around the country another market for biofuels and crops, and we can do that and cut pollution. We can cut global warming and greenhouse gas pollution, but we can also cut the particulate matter and other kinds of pollutions that cause asthma and other issues that deal with cardiovascular problems, and we can do much better. So there's enough reasons to want to move to clean energy. We need to keep those energy dollars right here at home and not send them overseas. If we continue to be addicted to fossil fuels and oil for our cars, we can do so much better. The electrification of transportation is really around the corner. And an electric car is 300 times more efficient than a fossil fuel car. Why wouldn't we move to more efficient vehicles right now? We can get greater energy efficiency both in our cars and in our homes. And that's one way that we can put Americans to work. And we can do that right now. And we can do it together. We'll be safer, we'll have better public health, and we'll have better national security because we will not be reliant on the countries that hate us most to fuel our power. So once again, I'm Susan Glickman. I'm with the Southern Alliance for Clean Energy. We're here working for you. Go visit our website at cleanenergy.org and find out what you can do as an individual and what we can do as a society and a nation and what policies makers need to do to set the stage for the future, to take us into the 21st century where we are creating clean, renewable energy right here at home. And we can do it. We need to do it for the sake of our children. And I know we've been addicted to oil, and I know we've been addicted to fossil fuels, and I know all too often those are the very interest groups that donate money to political campaigns and political parties, and they do that both to the Republican Party as well as the Democratic Party. This is a non-partisan issue. It is far too important to be hijacked by politics. So we ask for you to look to the future and understand, just like the changes that we've seen in our cell phones and our iPods and our iPads and our computers that, gosh, 10, 15 years ago, we couldn't have even imagined. And that's what we're going to see with clean energy. We're going to see fuel cells in neighborhoods. There's a company called Bing Energy, and they're up in Tallahassee, Florida, and they're replacing the platinum in fuel cells with a material developed at Florida State University called Bucky paper, and it's reducing the cost of those fuel cells. That's just one example of what we can do with a little bit of American ingenuity. So I challenge you, Republican Party and Republican Party leaders, to help move this country into the 21st century, make us energy independent, and clean up our environment in the process. I thank you very much.
Yes, hi, I'm Franklin Charles, and I'm here to speak to you today about an issue I'm very passionate about, and it's mentoring young kids. Over the past weekend, I took a service learning trip with a professor of mine from the University of South Florida over to New Orleans. And the trip was based on teaching younger African-American kids mainly about their past history from slavery on to Katrina. And a lot of them were unaware of some of the atrocities that occurred during and after Hurricane Katrina. As for instance, many weren't aware that a lot of the flooding in the Lower Ninth Ward was caused by the breach of the levee due to an untied barge that was left floating around in Lake Pontchartrain. And that being said, with this trip, educating the younger minds is a task not just put on the shoulders of teachers, but by the whole community. So you don't have to be a teacher, a pastor. You just got to care and love kids and want to see kids do better. Because every day you look on the news, everything we see about kids pertains to negativity. Young kids shooting cops, young kids stealing cars, young kids getting involved in drugs and other areas of crime. If we as a community take the time out to mentor these young kids and show them that we really care passionately about them, maybe one day they will go on to continually be our future leaders, presidents, senators, doctors, lawyers, astronauts. Everything they want to be, they can be. We just got to keep instilling in their mind that they can do good and they do have people who care about them. Once we show these kids that there's somebody out there who care about them, they're going to strive to do better. But if we just leave these kids to run around unmonitored and we don't show love and passion for these kids, we're going to keep having a higher juvenile rate of incarceration, more kids being charged as adults in society. That is unheard of 50, 60 years ago. Now we have all these juveniles at the age of 15 being charged as adults because we're not showing them the compassion they need, we're not showing them the care or love they need, proper nourishment. All those play a significant role in nurturing a child. So let's start nurturing our young more, mentoring those who are doing the job right now, mentoring kids. Keep it up and let some more people out there get involved in doing this, because we need to start loving our children because they're the future of our society.
Change your life. Learn TV and internet video production skills at TBCN in Tampa. Become a skilled video producer quickly and inexpensively. Learn audio, editing, lighting, and camera basics. Produce multi-camera videos for TV, the internet, business, or pleasure.
Welcome to my live call-in show on Tampa Bay Community Network. You too can learn to produce and star in your own video programming, or you can have TBCN staff do it for you.
Call TBCN at 813-977-5200 today and change your life. Visit our website at tbcn.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
I'm Brenda Reel. I'm the Executive Director at Self-Reliance Center for Independent Living in Tampa. Self-Reliance is the federally designated Center for Independent Living. And what I would ask of people, especially our elected officials, is that as you draft legislation and as you pass laws, and then as you develop policies and procedures and rules and regulations for the enforcement of those laws, that you consider the needs of people with disabilities. More than 20% of people of our population are people with disabilities. So as you think about access to community services, such as our sidewalks and our streets and our roads, you really need to think about the impact that what you do has on people with disabilities. They need to be able to ride the bus. They need to be able to get into the polling places to vote. They need to be able to access education and healthcare services. People with disabilities need employment. They need employers to recognize that they must meet the Americans with Disabilities Act in regards to accessibility and reasonable accommodation so that people with disabilities can become employed and work and save their money and sustain their families. People with disabilities want to be part of the community. They want to pay their taxes. They want to be a resource to the community and not a burden. It's very, very important as our elected officials that you stop and think about all citizens, those in wheelchairs, people who are blind, people who are deaf and hard of hearing, and any person with any disability. Please remember not to exclude them in our society, and you as the elected officials can help make those access services and programs available to people with disabilities. It's important that people with disabilities be included in what is happening in our communities and in our state and in our nation. If you really want to include people with disabilities, we need to make sure they hold elected offices, that they are running programs, that they're in the government, in the private sector, and they are afforded the same opportunities as a person without a disability. So, in conclusion, I would just like to encourage you to think about the needs of people with disabilities, whereas their needs are the same as people without disabilities, and to remember that the Americans with Disabilities Act protects their rights and that we need to have enforcement on those rights so that people with disabilities are truly included in our community and are given the same opportunities as non-disabled citizens. Thank you.
Hola, soy Carlos Segovia y hoy quiero hablarles un poco sobre de mí, un poco sobre de qué he hecho y qué he logrado y cuáles son mis sueños. Primeramente quiero decir que nací en el 1992 en un pueblito, no un pueblo, pero en Nezahualcóyotl, Estado de México. Y en ese tiempo mis padres emigraron de México a Estados Unidos. Y si yo hubiera sabido la vida que yo iba a llevar aquí, no me la hubiera yo creído. Pero poco a poco, así como comencé la escuela, comencé el estudio, estudiar en elementary school, poco a poco yo me acuerdo de los valores que este país me ha enseñado. Poco a poco este país, me acuerdo de cuando siempre todos los días a nosotros nos parábamos y cantábamos el himno nacional. Y la satisfecha que yo sentía, el orgullo que yo sentía de ser americano. Pero poco a poco, cuando el tiempo fue pasando y llegué a la middle school, descubrí que como muchas personas descubren que soy un documentado. Y eso me ha traído abajo, me ha cerrado muchas puertas. Pero yo como soy una persona que no dejo que se me cierre el mundo, siempre hay que buscar la manera de poder salir del hoyo. Y poco a poco, así como fui de elementary school, llegué a middle school, y de middle school me gradué y llegué a high school. Y mis primeros años no fueron muy bien, fueron males, no agarré grados bienes, pero eso fue porque uno, como documentado, se siente bien fatal, sientes que no puedes hacer nada, sientes que uno no puede lograr alcanzar sus sueños, pero eso, todo cambió. Porque en ese tiempo fue cuando yo conocí a Dios, fue cuando comencé a tener fe, fue cuando siempre lo que me enseñaron mis padres desde muy chiquito fue lo que se me hizo reconocer reconocer las cosas que me decían mis padres, y poco a poco fui aprendiendo lo que cuando uno cree en Dios, todo el mundo cambia y y le abre muchas puertas a uno. Entonces, en ese tiempo, cuando me gradué yo de la high school, conocí una señora que se llama Margarita Romo, que es parte de Farm Worker Self-Help, y de ahí cambió mi vida completa. Aunque en veces tengamos que juntar fondos para poder pagar mi escuela, para poder pagar mis estudios, yo sé que cuando uno pone las manos, cuando uno pone todas las cosas en Dios, las cosas cambian mucho. Pero así como un simple mexicano, yo les digo, y no quiero hablar mucho sobre mí, quiero decirles que todo en este mundo se puede, que nada es imposible, que cuando uno de verdad quiere hacerlo, uno lo va a hacer. Y el que no arriesga nada, nada tiene. En veces yo he mirado muchos amigos que por temor, que por querer decir que no me vayan a deportar, se quedan sus ideas, se quedan lo que ellos piensan, se lo quedan y no le dicen nada. Y eso en veces está bien, pero en veces no es bien, porque si hay una persona que te puede ayudar, ¿por qué no hablar un poco sobre de ti, de lo que haces, para que, y quién tal y quite que te pueda ayudar? Pero así como digo yo, así como estoy hablando ahorita, les quiero decir que como nada es imposible y que todo es posible. Que siempre cuando una persona, que hay que creer primero en sí mismo para poder lograr hacer algo. Porque aquí en este mundo yo creo que Dios no nos trajo para nada. Todos tenemos un propósito y si de verdad lo queremos hacer, lo vamos a hacer. Eso es el mensaje que les quería yo dar. Gracias.
Hi, my name is Barbara, and I'm going to be happy to welcome all of our guests to beautiful Tampa, Florida. Let's see now. Tampa was once dubbed the next great city. Well, guess what? We finally arrived. We are the great city. We are the home to many sports champions, the Lightning, the Bucks, the Rowdies. And guess what? We've also had very many Super Bowl games here. Our education system is number one. We've received a Gates Foundation. And now our arts, the arts are perfect. We've got Broadway here. We don't have to go to New York, which is also a great city. But we can now look at what we want to here in the Tampa Bay area. Guess what? I hope that you also enjoy our beaches, our zoos. We have the #1 children's zoo in America. And we've got a super duper aquarium. Wow, it's wonderful. You can even go swimming with the fishes. So, again, I hope you enjoy this beautiful, great city of ours in Tampa, and be careful.
Hello, my name is Jay Taylor. I'm a volunteer supervisor with the Hillsborough County Guardian Ad Litem program. I'd like to tell you about a very serious situation that involves children who are victims of abuse, neglect, or abandonment and living right here in Hillsborough County. Today in Hillsborough County, there are almost 3,000 children involved in the court system through no fault of their own. Some are victims of violence or abuse. Others have been neglected or even abandoned by their parents. These children are subjected to severe trauma, which frequently requires therapeutic intervention. Many have been removed from their homes and could be living in foster care. While the courts are there to offer protection for our children, often they also become victims of an overburdened child welfare system. It's a complex network of lawyers, social workers, and judges who are all very well-meaning, but often overburdened to give a thorough, detailed attention to what comes before them. A guardian ad litem is a volunteer who provides a voice for that child in the system. We have currently about 430 volunteers acting as child advocates and representing a little over 1,800 of those 3,000 children, roughly 62%. So we still need volunteers to cover the other 1,000 plus children. A guardian ad litem, or GAL, is typically a volunteer appointed by the court to advocate for a child. You become familiar with the children, learning everything you possibly can about them. You meet with parents, family, friends, neighbors, teachers, anyone that's involved in that child's life, so that you can collect as much information as possible about the child. You work with community service providers to ensure that the child's getting all the assistance and support needed to be successful. Once you gather all your information, you then make independent recommendations to the court and become the voice of that child to everyone. You don't have to worry about having any special training or education prior to doing this. You will receive 30 hours of training before you ever start. You also have a strong support system, including paid staff and attorneys, so that you work as a team, provide that advocacy for the child. One other thing you receive each month is quality time with the children, as you're required to visit them at least once a month and make a much needed and a significant contribution to our community. But most importantly, you gave the opportunity to make the difference in the life of a child who has been abused or neglected. One such occasion for me was a few years ago. I got on a case of 2 children. The parents were not doing much on their case plan. The kids had been involved in the system for about 4 or 5 months at that point. About 6 months later, we were having a meeting regarding where this thing stood, and one of the people in the meeting asked the parents what caused them to be so good in the last 6 or 7 months when they had done nothing in the first 6 months in the case. The mother said, once I knew a guardian was appointed to the children, I could not worry so much about the children. I could concentrate on myself that way and get my case plan done. That's just one example of how you can make a profound effect on a child's life. I would like to invite you to visit our website, tampagal.org, to learn more about the program and to explore this very worthwhile opportunity for volunteerism. Thank you.
Tampa Bay Soapbox.
Republicans, how do you like Tampa? I'm Maria Coulter, and I live in Tampa, and I'm 86 years old. My main concern is that we are using fossil fuel for energy. Look at what happened to the Gulf of Mexico. We must hold out on granting permits to use fossil for energy. We must use alternative energy now. Today, the National Ignition Facility, known as NIF, the world's largest laser system, is located at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California. NIF is currently conducting a series of tuning shots to determine the optimum target design and laser parameters for high energy ignition experiments with fusion fuel. Go to Google and search fusion energy. You will learn about the star laser experiment at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California. The scientists are successfully moving towards a renewable source of power. The scientists said after the latest experiment in March, it was like breaking the sound barrier. I urge you to go to Google and search fusion energy, FUSIONEnergy. Thanks for listening.
Hi, my name's Tony Dodenhoff. I'm the Finance Director for HHH, which is Homeless Help and Homeless Incorporated. I'm here today to talk about homelessness in Tampa Bay area. Okay, a lot of people don't realize the situation that is going on in the Tampa Bay area, and I'm here to let you know about it. We have the 5th worst homelessness problem in the country. It is in the entire country today. Okay, and on top of that, we have we are ranked the 5th worst in programs to help eradicate homelessness in the Tampa Bay area. So, as you can see, there is a lot of help, a lot of things that need to be done in order to correct the problem. Homelessness is not a Democratic problem. It's not a Democratic issue. It's not a Republican issue, okay? It is a humanitarian issue, okay? And that's what everybody needs to understand. Years ago, it used to be where it was just the guy on the side of the road holding the sign up that was homeless. That's not the case anymore. It could be your mother. It could be your brother, your sister, your father, your aunts, your uncles. It could be your next door neighbor. And the way the economy is, it could be you. And everybody, I believe, needs to play a part and step up and help to resolve this issue, because it is an issue that can be resolved, okay? We just need to get together and come up with the right programs to eradicate homelessness. Again, it could be somebody you know, and it very well might be somebody you know. So, keep in mind, we do have the 5th worst homelessness problem in the country right here in your community. So your neighbors, who used to be your neighbors, are now homeless, all right? And I would like to say that the company I work for, the organization HHH, which is Homeless Helping Homeless, okay, is trying to do just that, okay? And we have been doing that. Our inception of the corporation was in 2009, and the founder has a passion for this, and the passion is what you need to eradicate this problem. And since the foundation of the corporation, Homeless Helping Homeless has housed, given 95,000 beds, over 95,000 beds, okay, to people that are homeless, fed over 75,000 people, have given away, I mean, thousands and thousands of hygiene kits. This is things that you don't realize, the things that we take for granted in the everyday world, okay? We need to, everybody come together to help eradicate this problem. Homeless Helping Homeless is an organization that needs help, okay? We are not government funded at all, okay, at all. It is strictly by private donations. We are constantly coming up with programs to help fund the problem, okay? Since the stopping of the donation buckets, we've had to shut down important programs, and we are trying to get everybody again to come together to help out not only HHH, but help out the homelessness problem, period, in the Tampa Bay area. And again, Homeless Helping Homeless has housed over 91,000 people, fed 75,000 people, showers, have given away tens of thousands of showers to people who don't even have the ability to take a shower. So if you would like to do that, please contact us at HHH, Homeless Helping Homeless Incorporated, and we would greatly appreciate all the help.
Hi, my name is Katie Jones, and I'm a volunteer with Florida Doggy Paws Rescue in Newport Richey, Florida. I wanted to bring with me a picture of my dogs because I couldn't bring them with me. So these are some portraits that I did of my 2 dogs, Charlie and Angel, who have been rescued by Florida Doggy Paws Rescue from death row. Rescue dogs are really great for several reasons. First off, when you rescue a dog, you're saving a life from being put down in a shelter. You're not supporting puppy mills. Animal groups work really, really hard with people to save animals. Here's an example. Last night, somebody posted a dog that is scheduled to be euthanized tomorrow morning at Pasco Animal Control. I saw this on Facebook, and it really touched me. And the thing about it is this dog looks so much like my dogs. So I decided that I would go ahead and adopt and foster this particular dog, but I'm going on vacation. So we had to do a lot of scrambling around, and rescue groups are just great. There's a nice coalition, they're connected with each other, and so from a number of phone calls, we were able to find somebody that is willing to take this dog for 10 days until I can get back. those are the sort of humane things that we do for one another in an animal rescue. Additionally, when you rescue a dog from an animal group, they usually come to you with some kind of fee, but that fee includes microchipping, spaying or neutering, getting them up to date on shots. And generally, they're better animals. They've been around other animals in their foster care, and so they've gotten socialized a little bit better. And so they, even though they may not be purebreds, they make wonderful pets. So everyone really should consider adopting an animal from an animal rescue. And if anyone is considering donating to causes, just go ahead and look on Pet Finder, and there's a million animal groups that can certainly use financing. Everybody is really strapped. So please consider adopting. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Walker, and I'm the Executive Director of Miracles Outreach Community Development Center. My issue today is being able to speak to representatives to encourage you all to be able to send money down to your local grassroots organizations that are actually out in the community doing the work. Our programs feed into the different communities here in the Tampa Bay area. We work with youth that are in foster care, and the biggest issue that we have are that youth that turn 18 years old, they have to age out, nowhere to go, no support, as well as being able to find the things that they need. These kids have dreams, hopes, and just are very resilient youth, and it is important for us to just work with the legislation, get them to understand the needs that are here in the community, and the money should not have to trickle down from large organizations to small organizations to be able to provide the services that are needed right in the local community. I implore each of you to take the opportunity to go out to your local shelters, talk to, visit with the youth that are in these programs, see what the wants and needs are, see how you can get involved, how you can help out. You can go to our website at www.miraclesoutreach.org to see how you can get involved in your community and see what you can do to help. Again, I just say again to you that it is very important to continue to work with your community leaders, work with the people right there to help pass down the funds to the local organizations. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and this is Spotlight on Government. Well, it's not today. I'm the host of Spotlight on Government, and I'm here to welcome the RNC to the city of Tampa. We're so excited that you're here. I want you to know a little bit about Tampa Bay Community Network. I've been a volunteer host here for almost 13 years. And on my Spotlight on Government program, we've brought everybody from federal Congress people to state representatives to county commissioners to council people from the city of Tampa, and then a variety of managers of some very important programs. When they come on this program, they have the opportunity to talk about what they wish, not some axe to grind that I might have. It's a safe and sane place for people to come and be able to talk about the important issues of the day without fear of someone trying to sideswipe them. We want you to know Tampa Bay Community Network is a place where people can come and be very, very comfortable. It's a place where people can come and speak their mind. It is tax supported, and we're excited that it's tax supported because it allows all the people to have a voice, not just those who have huge wealth. Thank you for watching us. We look forward to having you watch Spotlight on Government and all the other Tampa Bay Community Network shows. You're unique, you're special, and you're great. Tell yourself so often because you are, you know. And we'll see you on Spotlight on Government.
For a copy of this program, or to record a different message for family or friends, please call 813-977-5200. Credit cards welcome.
Tampa Bay Community Network is a service of Speak Up Tampa Bay, a 501c3 nonprofit. We rely on contributions from the community to provide this great free speech venue. Please consider donating through our website at www.tbcn.org or send contributions to TBCN, P.O. Box 4177, Tampa 33677.